ZWave home automation. This is a new open standard for wireless. It's a open standard for this wireless protocol. Multiple manufacturers implement the devices that all talk together. You have a home automation controller that controls all these devices. You can then use a simple web or REST interface to interact with that controller. You can get more information at zwave.com. And David's got a demo of how to use XE5 to talk to a ZWave home automation controller.
In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to integrate home automation devices into your Delphi applications. I've got a Verilight home automation controller by Mikasa Verde, and connected to that home automation device, I've got a QuickSet smart door lock. How it works is this Verilight box, which is connected on the network, controls the QuickSet lock. You can send a command to lock it or unlock the deadbolt. So you can connect to the Verilight home automation controller with a browser and set up your devices and see what's happening with the devices. Let's go to the Devices tab. Security is one where I've got my door lock connected. Let's take a look at the door lock. I'm using my Android phone, so there you're getting the scan refresh. But I can use the browser interface and click on the lock button, and it will send a signal from the Verilight to the deadbolt. And there's the deadbolt being locked. Click the unlock button, and it unlocks the door. Now, how can we do this same operation using RAD Studio XE5? Let's bring up the IDE. And I've got a project group with several applications in it. First one is a FireMonkey desktop application. And I've got an edit box where I can put in the IP address of the Verilight home automation controller. I've got a switch for turning on the connection. I've got a combo box with the words lock and unlock in it. And I've got a button here, do the operation. And I'm using the REST client library components to do the control between my application and the Verilight home automation controller. I could use the Project Indy HTTP component to do a similar thing. The REST client library components are just simpler to use, and they work across all the platforms that come in RAD Studio XE5 for Delphi and C++ on Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. The REST client component has a base URL, and I'll put in here the connection to my Verilight. And then I've got the request that I'm going to send. I'm going to set the resource property of the REST request. So let's take a look at the code underneath of this application. For the switch, I say if the switch is checked, meaning I've turned it on, I'm going to set the REST client base equal to HTTP, the IP address that's in the edit box, and port 3480 is the control interface to the Verilight. Then I'm going to enable the do it button. If the switch is off, then I'm going to disable the do it button. If I click on the do it button, I have an event handler where I say if the combo box items, the selected item, is unlocked, then I'll set the lock command to a character 0. Otherwise, lock command, which is defined as a string, to 1. And then I'll set the resource property of the REST request lock operation component to a data request. The ID is action. The device number is 3. That's that door lock, the number I got from the browser interface. And then the service ID for the device is this Mikasa Verde service ID door lock 1. I'm going to set the action equal to set target, and I'm going to pass it a new target value and set that equal to whatever the lock command is. So new target value is either going to be 0 for unlock or 1 for lock. And that's it. And then I'm going to call the REST request component's execute method. Notice on the REST request, I've set the method to be REST method put, because I'm sending something to the Verilight, which will then generate the command to my door lock. Since this is a FireMonkey application, it can run on Windows. I can also add Macintosh, OS X. Why don't we run it on a Mac? So we'll hit run. It'll compile and move over to our Macintosh. Now we've got the application here. Let's minimize this browser. We've got our quick set door lock application. We'll bring up my iPhone just to use the built-in camera so we can see the application running. We'll turn on the switch. We'll click the Do It button to set the lock. And there's the deadbolt. I can go and change to unlock in the combo box. Click the button. And there it unlocks. And we can turn it off. Back in the IDE, I also have a mobile application. In this case, I'm using a list box. And I have the list box style lookup set to transparent list box style so that these list box items will all fit nicely together. I've got an edit box to put the IP address of the Verilight home automation controller. I've got a combo box, which in the case of iOS and Android are going to use the native pickers for the combo box. And that's got two items, lock and unlock. And I've got the button down here that's aligned to the contents of the third list box item. And I have the same REST client component where I'll set the base URL. And I've got the REST request component where I'm going to set the resource string that I want to do a put and send to the Verilight controller to lock and unlock the deadbolt. So let's run this application first on iOS. Here's the splash screen. So here's our app running on iOS. We'll turn the switch on. We've got our combo box, which brings up the native picker where we can choose lock or unlock. Let's make sure the door is locked. So I'm going to do this really fast. I'm going to click the button and then go back to the camera so we can see the command happen. There it is. Sometimes it has to retry, so there's a little bit of a delay. So there, the deadbolt is locked. We'll go back over to our app, set the unlock, call do it, go back to the camera, and there's the deadbolt unlocked. Enable Android as the target. Here's my Samsung Galaxy S4. This is how it will look in the device. So let's hit run. So here's that same interface, now running on Android. We'll turn on the switch. We'll say that we want to lock the deadbolt. Click the Do It button. Go to the camera. And there the deadbolt is set. Go back, set unlock. Click the button. Bring up the camera. And there we're controlling it from inside of Android app. So there's all sorts of devices that are available for home automation. I'm using the ZWave standard. So that's what's supported by the Verilight. So you can get any number of ZWave devices, build your apps, pass commands to the devices from your applications running in Delphi and C++ Builder, on the desktop, on the phone. Some of the cool ideas you might think about is as you're getting near your house, you might use the location-based component to say, when I get within a certain number of meters of my house, using the current location and knowing where your house is, then turn on the lights, open up the garage door, open up the door to the house. So lots of different things that you can do by using Delphi and C++ Builder in XE5 to integrate to home automation systems.